You can let me know if you've heard this question. But do you think there are more eyes or legs on the planet Earth?
I have heard that question.
Dang it.
I don't know the answer.
You don't know the answer. Who'd you hear it from?
It's just one of those internet things. Like, are there more wheels or doors?
Okay. And what do you think?
Well, there are definitely more wheels. I don't know about that. Eyes or legs?
What's your theory?
I think that there are more eyes.
Why do you think this?
Because this isn't funny, but because like the photosensitivity receptors are like one of the first things to develop when life evolves.
Okay.
So most things have some type of think of all the fish, you know what I mean? Everything in the ocean that doesn't have legs, but they have a way to sense light.
That's what I was getting at, because most people, when they say animals, right away they think, when you ask them that question, they're like, oh man, like there's spiders of 8 legs, you know what I mean?
But they also have 8 eyes.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. But for whatever reason, I don't know, they think legs at first, but I didn't think about fish at first either. It took me a second, like, oh man, I didn't think about the ocean at all. So I don't know, it's one of those like curveballs that you think land animals right away or something.
Good thing I'm a fucking genius.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah,
what
there
was
you go.
the wheels or doors?
The other question is, are there
man.
more wheels or doors? And
That's a crazy one.
It is a crazy one because it's not.
Have they mathematically figured that one out?
I mean, there's definitely more wheels. That takes no.
Oh no. Yeah, it's gotta be.
Think of all the things that wheels would be used for.
But then you start thinking of every door, like every house has so many doors, and you're like, oh my god, that's interesting. There's got to be there's got to be somebody figured that out.
Someone's figured it out.
That's another thing I was wondering too about these podcasts is we need another guy over here with a laptop, just like, hey, look that up for us.
Do we need a Jamie?
Yes, like a Jamie, like from Joe Rogan.
Well, I mean, if one of us just had a laptop, that'd be.
We could just put a laptop right here.
We could just have a communal laptop that we use.
As long as we're not getting in the way of the CEO of the company here.
Right, our boss.
Yeah. Don't make this guy mad. Keep him drenched.
Yeah,
what do you want to say? Quenched.
Yeah, quenched and happy. Drenched. Keep him drenched. Just get him all wet. Dude, okay, so last week on the podcast, I told a story about how Dalton took his shirt off at the dog park and a gay guy immediately ran over.
Oh, no.
I even showed the clip. But I have an addition to that story.
In my defense, it's me and him in the dog park with our dogs, so he probably thought we were a couple. Let's be real.
He did not. I have the addition to that story. No. So Kelsey was at the dog park the other day, a couple days after we had gone. And he showed up and he said, oh, I recognize this dog. It's Veda. And she was like, yeah, my husband was out here with his buddy. And he says, I usually have a pretty good gaydar. I could have swore that the blonde was gay. And Kelsey starts laughing. Dude, think about it. You're shirtless. You got your chest hair out. You're clearly someone that cares about the way men look because you focus so hard on making your body look good.
Oh, jeez.
And you have these short little shorts on that are hiked way up, past thigh high.
Yeah.
No wonder.
I must be the chest hair, man. I used to shave it, all right, but for whatever reason, my girlfriend loves chest hair. I don't know. So I have not shaved it in 8 years now. Jeez. Crazy.
I have the exact opposite. I don't know. I have an aversion to hair. I don't want to have any hair on my body. I want to shave everything. I think it's gross. It it's constantly getting pulled on things. Like if you're sleeping, it kills me.
You need to grow that beard out just a little bit more to look like Mr. Beast, though. You need just a little more on the side here.
Yeah,
maybe.
what needs to happen is that I need to shave this down.
Yeah.
Because he can't grow it up here.
He's got this patchy thing, dude.
And then I need to shave just straight patches into under the chin part. And then I'd be a dead ringer.
Dude.
Lose the glasses.
You should be Mr. Beast for Halloween, maybe, at least. Just wear a Mr. Beast shirt.
You can't just be some guy for Halloween.
What do you mean?
You have to be...
That's what Halloween is. You're just not you, right?
Yeah, but you're something that other people would recognize.
Everybody knows Beast. He's a celebrity now.
But the people that I would encounter know me. So they would just think I didn't dress up.
Yeah, you're like, what's the deal, dude? You bought a Mr. Beast shirt and you're out hanging out?
Yeah, Mr. Beast.
We already know you look like Mr. Beast. I don't know, whatever.
Last Halloween we did Liver King.
Ooh,
we were both Liver King on the podcast.
That was fun. It
It
was either Liver King or Island Boys, and Liver King beat him out.
I had someone
Island Boys was a lot of work with the hair. And
comment
everything.
the other day on that Liver Beast on that Liver King video, and they were like, "Here's where you find the concoction. Make the concoction. Do a video."
Oh, we have to make the concoction now.
I mean, to be fair, it is the 7th comment saying you can find the recipe for the concoction on his site.
Yes, but
this person was actually like, "No, you should do a video."
The people
about it.
want a video about it. I like it. We haven't talked about Liver King in a while. We put him away for a minute.
Well, he's way too popular. This week he was on Impulsive.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he was on Logan Paul's podcast.
Oh my God!
Eating raw liver.
He blew up.
Yeah.
We caught him. We caught him on the rise.
I know, dude. If we could have somehow invested into Liver King stock, god damn.
God dang it. We would have been on the trend.
It's like the next Doge or GameStop.
We'd be selling right now.
Yeah. Oh, we would definitely be selling right now.
Yeah.
It's only downhill from here. You go on Impulsive, that's kind of like the max. It's over.
Yeah. Hey, Brinley, I'm going to take that toy away from you because you're making way too much noise with it. You like that thing way too much. There we go.
Look at that disgusting ball.
Oh, now you want to
Can't give it to you ever again. You've ruined your chances by running around like a maniac. So, yeah, I thought it'd be nice to know that, if you ever, or... if you ever, but like when Tess wises up and leaves you, you have a lot of options at the dog park.
I was just wondering if we should we should buy some Beast t-shirts and then have like a Mr. Beast inspired podcast.
I think that's half of our podcast already is Mr. Beast inspired podcast.
We do talk about him every once
in a while. Too
much. But, I'm just
Beast,
trying to...
Elon and Liver King. We just...
Liver King really got us a lot of views. I'm just trying.
Liver King. I'm trying to ride that wave.
I'm going to ride off a Beast or whatever wave we can catch. And I got my surfboard, man. Oh man.
Interestingly enough, Dalton showed up at like 10:30 today, so way early.
Really early.
And you smell like you're trying too hard. So what have you got going on after this?
It's just a busy weekend, man. I have the ninja night planned with the kiddos at the school. So
why did you drench yourself in cologne for hanging out with children?
I just spray this is me every morning. You probably just...
I've never seen you in the morning.
You've never seen me this early. The cologne wears off by 2 o'clock.
It becomes a little manageable.
It's not so pungent. It's very strong at 10 a.m. though.
It smells vanilla-y.
I don't know.
If like we could do a smell-o-vision thing, you guys would gag. It's the equivalent of an ant that smokes too many cigarettes and ruins your house.
It's oh man, it's a cheap knockoff of like a expensive cologne.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's why it's kind of like it's almost good, but there's something you didn't quite get there.
I don't think any cologne is really good.
I don't use
it's too much.
I don't use the good stuff around you, by the way. All right, when I plan my day, it's like, what am I doing today? Oh, I'm going to Cody's. All right, let's get that little that stuff's literally like was in the truck, and I was like, I forgot. You know what I mean?
Be honest, Dalton. That was not one squirt.
I that was just one, but I went over my whole body. It was the whole body squirt.
Is it Axe?
No, it's cheap knockoff. I'm not
gonna knockoff lie. Axe.
It's
what would knockoff Axe be? Mace.
It's literally a Walmart one that like it says like what it's knocking off too, which surprises me. Like you'll say like this is an Aqua de Joe.
It's just fucking blatant. Walmart doesn't care anymore.
I can't believe it. Like you can have just it smells like Aqua de Joe.
I think I've seen that on Walmart like shampoo bottles. It'll say like compare to Head and Shoulders or some shit.
I guess yeah, but
it's like what do you mean compare? I'm not buying both.
I don't know. I got it for like $5 during the holidays, so.
Nice.
I'm not really worried about it. Maybe I'll change my fragrance up around you next time.
It'd be cool to just not put any on. That'd be ideal. If you could just.
I forgot you've gone on ancestral on me. You're a complete ancestor with your tenants.
Yeah.
You're going back now, man. No perfumes or dyes. I do. I've completely changed up my deodorant. I use like. I don't know, some kind of more natural one that doesn't have aluminum and bullshit in it. And it's like 7 times more expensive, so it must be better for you.
Have you heard aluminum's terrible for you?
Yeah.
You saying like it causes Alzheimer's?
I don't
know if you did this back in the day, but back in the day when we were like children, to smoke our weed, we'd put a dent in a soda can, poke a few holes in it, and smoke it through the can. And I have to assume that I would be a fucking like Nobel winning scientist had I not done that. I smoke so much aluminum.
I learned that one from a meth head. How to smoke out of a can. That was a good one. Some guy at the construction site like, I got some weed, but I don't have anything to smoke out of. I'll show you. I'll just teach you. Here we go. Oh my God. Have you seen... I was watching like a Vice documentary this week, and it was the new epidemic right now. They're adding, starts with an F, the drug that everybody's
fentanyl.
Yeah, they're adding more stuff to the fentanyl now, and it's killing people. And they have this guy, they're just showing you on Vice him hitting this stuff, and he's like, "This is the pink one. This one will really knock you, man." Like they got all different colors and everything. And they have the chick making it on Vice, and they're talking about they put different dyes in it so you can identify it and you can remember that, oh, the pink was the good one and the blue was the one that wasn't as good or something like that.
One of the people that sold Mac Miller the pill that killed him was just sentenced because it had fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
They sold him a perk and it had fentanyl in it, and that's how he died.
Wow. One of the freaking things they're adding to these fentanyls is horse tranquilizer.
Ketamine?
I don't know what kind, but it was some sort of a horse tranquilizer.
Ketamine, dude, I was looking up ketamine this week because there's a
shortage right now.
There's an abundance.
Oh, jeez.
There's a treatment for depression. Apparently, have you ever done ketamine? I've never done ketamine.
No.
I've heard people talk about ketamine. They say, have you ever heard the term K-hole?
No.
Apparently, you do ketamine, and then you fall into what's called a K-hole, where, like, you just kind of, like, you're in a K-hole. I don't know how to explain it. You're gone.
Yeah.
You're gone for a while. You come back later. Dude, this reminds me of another story. There was a picture on Twitter a couple weeks ago where these people were partying in Mexico. They were at some resort, and they brought a bag of, I guess, powdered ketamine, and they had left their hotel room. One of the workers found it, thinking it was cocaine.
Oh, shit.
He does a bump, falls into a K-hole. They show up to their hotel room, and he is on the bed like... It looks like he's had a stroke. His face is fucked up. They're taking pictures of him. They like prop him up, and they're like taking pictures next to him, and his face is just like... You can tell he's just gone. Anyways.
He's dead.
You can sign up right now for ketamine treatments. They send you 6 doses to your house, and you put yourself in these K-holes, and apparently it's like a 96% success rate on curing people's depression after these treatments.
Wow.
Because you know, like how apparently it's a hallucinogen. I don't know how you hallucinate or whatever, but like hallucinogens, like mushrooms, they get certain receptors to fire that maybe haven't fired in a while. So that's why people say it treats depression, because it's like making your brain work in a different way.
I'm not depressed anymore, but I'm addicted to drugs.
Well, you've done mushrooms.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do after a mushroom trip is mushrooms.
True. It kind of just wears you out. You're just kind of drained.
Well, it's definitely not an experience you want to like do 2 days in a row.
The reason I even brought up that Vice thing was because the guy, when he gets out his little pink thing to smoke, he just has a piece of tinfoil. And then he has a lighter underneath the tinfoil and like a straw on top. And he's like, you know what I mean?
Dude, that's how people do heroin. It's called chasing the dragon. Because I worked at a really shitty apartment complex, okay? I found people's heroin all the time. God. I found a bag of...
I've been waiting for some of these stories.
I found a huge bag of crack one time in someone's occupied apartment.
A huge bag?
I've never seen anything like it. I had to take a photo of it.
Did you have to just report all this shit right away? Like drugs and shit?
I didn't care.
Yeah,
if people want to do drugs,
that bag. I don't know what happened to that one. I don't.
But
oh, you mean you just left it be?
Yeah.
You went in the apartment. You're saying you just saw it, and you're like, "What is that?"
I took a photo of it and I showed my manager at the time.
Are
and
you
she
baking
was like,
today? There's some flour you have on the table there.
Anyways,
with the mirror.
Yeah, what people do is they take a piece of tinfoil and they put their heroin on it and light it underneath. And yeah, it's called chasing the dragon because as it burns and boils, it like kind of moves along the tinfoil.
This drug he's taking is, it's some, like I said, fentanyl with like 2 other things added to it. But he's hitting it. And he's around the people the one chick that like made some, and who knows where he got this one, but friends or whatever. And they have the adrenaline shot or whatever it is with them just in case you OD. And they're like,
oh, like, is it Narcan? I don't know what Narcan
I think it's
is.
Narcan. I think you're right. And so he hits this thing off the foil and then just falls into this and does nothing. For like a couple minutes, man, and the people around like, do you want us to get the Narcan out or whatever? Like, hello, you awake? Like they're like trying to talk to him, and I'm like, what the hell is going on, man? This, and then he finally kind of comes to, and he kind of like gathers up his drugs, like, and then they talk about how basically with these new additives, people are getting robbed more. Because the second you take one hit, you're out for, a while, and then you just get robbed or raped sometimes. Like these women are waking up after one hit and their pants are around their ankles and they don't know what the fuck's going on. Isn't that wild, man?
Yeah, why is this going so dark? Jesus Christ.
Oh, do we have to keep this on a...
No. I mean, for my own mental well-being, that was just shocking.
I went on a dark... Vice documentary. Speaking of Vice documentaries, did we talk about the not Silk Road?
Silk Road.
Silk Road. Did we talk about the Silk Road guy in the podcast yet?
No.
That's an interesting story.
Did you retain all of that information?
I had to watch it twice.
There was a lot there.
To even freaking get it, because.
So for those who don't know. Back in the day, a decade ago, it seems like it's been a while
already.
Back when Bitcoin was like $80 a coin, you know what I mean?
Nothing.
You could get on, the dark web, and you could go onto a website called the Silk Road, and you could buy anything you wanted on the Silk Road. You could buy heroin, you could buy mushrooms, whatever you wanted on the Silk Road.
You could buy a hitman.
And the whole thing is that it was anonymous, right? So you pay with your Bitcoin, it gets sent to your address, whatever. And that guy is the guy who invented it. The Silk Road has been shut down. The guy who invented it is now serving life in prison.
30 to life or something. It was like
something like that. And I had always heard about that story. Maybe you guys are familiar with that story, but Dalton sent me a documentary that really illustrates like how he got caught and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it added this new element that I had never heard before. And essentially,
he ended up not going down for drugs.
He did.
Well, I mean, I don't want to spoil at the end. We'll get to that, but I'm just saying he did some other shit that got him on the radar.
Yeah.
That got him taken down.
And it was the most elaborate heist that I've ever heard of.
Unbelievable.
So
some big brain fucking moves, man.
So I'm gonna just give a summary from what I remember. One of the dealers on Silk Road, one of the big time sellers, his like chemist or his supplier claimed that, hey, this guy hasn't paid me for the supplies and he's clearly still selling the product, so he's making this money. I need to be paid.
There's some sort of scam going around on Silk Road where people will put some real good product out, get some customers in, and then they'll start to...
They do one final fire sale. Yeah. Everyone buys it up and they peace out.
Well, and a lot of times that last sale, they cut the product and it's shit product.
Or they
then they get out of there, so then they triple, double, quadruple their money real quick and bounce out.
So this chemist, the supplier, he starts claiming... Look, to the guy who owns the Silk Road, he says, look, your shit's being sold on my website. I haven't been paid yet. I need this much money or I will release a ledger of every transaction ever made and I will take everyone down with me. And he had all the names, all the addresses, things like that.
And then he's also blaming the guy that owns the Silk Road, too, saying...
You're making money off this.
This guy says that you got the money. What's going on here? Like there's like blame being pointed all over and... We don't know what's going on.
So eventually it escalates to the point where this guy, he doesn't see a way. The guy who owns the Silk Road doesn't really see a way out. He doesn't want his business to be ruined. And he needs these two people taken care of.
And I was about to say, the money he's missing now, apparently he borrowed from people that are going to kill him. That was the other thing too. So it was like, this guy didn't pay me and I need this money or I'm going to die. So you got to give me this or I'm going to put you got to give me my money back or I'm going to put all this information out with these high level makers of drugs and buyers of drugs and everything, the names.
So the guy that owns the Silk Road gets a hold of the people who were threatening to kill these other two guys. And he says, I'll pay you to do it.
Well, that was the other thing too is, We're just talking about these two guys arguing, and then the biker gang comes in and is like, "Hey, don't worry about it. We found the guy. We took care of him. But turns out there's more of them. Like, it gets crazier, man. You're like, they got bitcoins, and we can take their bitcoin from them. But what do you want me to do? Like." Oh, man, I don't know.
So the owner of the Silk Road is communicating with the biker gang, and he is saying, look, here's the three people that I need eliminated. What is your fee for this? So he starts paying the biker gang to kill off these people.
Yeah.
And
it does start with, like, one, and then, like, one guy has 4 friends with them, so it turns into 5 hits or something like that.
And the amount of money it would be worth, at the time it was only worth a couple $100,000, but today it's worth over $300 million.
He's paying all in Bitcoin.
So he's paying this biker gang
of Bitcoins.
What's the equivalent of $300 million today.
Yeah.
And then the twist is, it turns out that the seller, the chemist, the supplier, and the biker gang are all the same person. That nobody got killed. There was no murder for hire. The owner of the Silk Road got deceived in such an incredible way.
Not only that, they were talking. The biker gang was talking about possibly doing deals with the Silk Road later. Like, they were so cunning about it, and all these hits go down. Or he pays for all these hits, and he even admits to paying for another hit previous to all this, which is funny because in all these texts, the Silk Road guy starts trying to negotiate the cost of all these hits,
right?
And the biker gang is trying to get more than 150 ahead, 150 plus. And the Silk Road guy's like, I've done this before. I paid $80,000 and it was, no problem. And so in trying to admit that, all of this is getting recorded by the FBI eventually because the Silk Road guy left his own fucking email out there. Did you hear that part?
Well, what had happened was, they were able to trace it back to this guy, the owner of the Silk Road. And then the FBI tailed him for a long time. And then the owner of the Silk Road's at a library or a coffee shop on his personal laptop. They distract him while one of the agents goes and clones the PC. Fucking idiot.
The whole reason they found him is because everything on the Silk Road was actually on the blockchain, kind of untraceable theoretically. But he tried to, when he made the site, he tried to advertise it on Reddit or some bullshit, some forum. Has anybody heard of this site before? It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And then he had his own email with his own name connected to that freaking message. And I just thought that was really interesting. But so the cops, they track him down, they get him, and they research all this, and then come to find out none of these murders happen.
Yeah, none of these people really exist. It's one guy controlling 7 accounts.
So he gets charged. He still gets charged with contempt of murder or something. I don't know how that.
Nothing.
Or do those get dropped?
None of the murder for hire stuff was it part of the trial.
But he still gets charged with 9 felonies of drug trafficking and all kinds of shit because of his website. But he wouldn't. I mean, who knows how much longer he could have gotten away with his website if they weren't looking for a potential murderer. I mean, obviously it was illegal, but how crazy is that? That's
the whole time I'm listening to it, I'm like, okay, the FBI controls these accounts, and they're trying to get him to do a murder for hire, implicate himself. And then that wasn't the case. I was like, what the fuck? This is one evil genius.
Yeah.
Who, I don't know what happened to that guy. They did name him at the very end of the documentary. But that dude, even if he got... The only thing I could think he would be charged for is fraud. You've tricked someone into giving you all their Bitcoin, maybe.
But it's like...
But even then, he's not serving jail time, likely.
That crazy guy gave me all his Bitcoin because he wanted me to kill people.
Yeah. I told him I would do it, but the thing is, they're made up people. They're people that I made up.
There isn't any people. So
they're kind of dead, actually. Actually, they are dead.
You'd think it'd be some sort of fraud or something, man. How crazy he got away with that one.
Really interesting. Another thing that's dumb is there are so many people who...
And how do you come up with that? Is there a movie out there like that?
It needs to be made into a movie.
It has to,
That'd be a sick movie.
But you know what? It would have to be it would be played out as if everything happened, and then come to find out at the very, very, very end, it's just one fucking nerd on a computer. You know what I mean?
What's really interesting, though, is he was even... The nerd on the computer was sending him proof of the hits. A dead body with a random number, numbers on a piece of paper next to it.
Pictures, yeah. So he had to have some accomplices hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Lay down and put some ketchup on you. Trust me, I'll give you a Bitcoin. What the fuck's a Bitcoin?
Right. Dude, hundreds of millions of dollars funneled to this guy.
And what a trick, man. What a trick. He started this originally seeking out, I need to find he knew the name of the guy. I need to find the maker of the Silk Road. This guy's screwing me out of all this money, and he says that you have it. Deliberate. Everything was so deliberate. And I was just trying to figure out, at first, was he just trying to get that original money? But then, did he just figure it out along the way. Like,
he started realizing, oh, this guy's a gullible dumbass.
I could just keep making up
I 100%
stuff.
think that's how it went.
Like how,
initially, he wanted to do I'm going to release the list of names, or you give me $300,000, and he probably would have been done with it.
Yeah.
But then when the guy started asking his other account how we can eliminate his other account, the guy was like, "Oh God, I can make more money."
He starts making up other fake accounts, like, oh, this is all based in Canada. Like, we found these other guys, very similar business plan. They think they've been doing the same thing, and now they're associated. I mean, he just kept making up characters, and it was believable for the Silk Road guy, man. He's just totally hook, line, and sinker. We got to get rid of these guys, man. He just got, wow, how crazy!
It's pretty wild how long the Silk Road guy is sentenced to prison.
Yeah,
I guess I'm not familiar with laws, but he obviously broke enough of them.
I know I did hear the life sentence, but I believe it was like 30 to life, so I don't know if he's going to like be able to appeal later or how that works or
parole,
something.
Or I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, how much Bitcoin does he have? Well, if he ever gets out of jail, he could... He potentially doesn't have to do anything illegal ever again. He can just chill on a yacht.
I sure hope he's got a couple of flash drives fucking hidden somewhere, man. Because the government took whatever they could from him.
Right.
And auctioned that shit off, and
Or they have a fucking vault. They're like the biggest Bitcoin whale.
No, they auction that shit. I've heard of some big other scams that went down and shit, and the government takes the Bitcoin and just auctions it off at the time, and it ends up going for a little less than market value, obviously, but...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wild.
I had to bring up that story because I never heard something like that. You've heard of some scams here and there, but that one would just...
It's got to be one of the largest monetary scams in the world.
Unless you're counting, like, art heists.
I'm not.
I know, right? Actual money.
There are some interesting art heists. There was this guy who he would go into art museums with a replica of the painting, I think.
Ooh, wow.
And he would just take like a fucking razor blade, or sometimes he would just take the picture off the wall and walk out with it. Middle of the day, the museum's open, he would just steal the art. And when they finally found him, it's not like he can sell the art. He just wanted to collect it, or like he was addicted to the stealing. So his apartment was covered in art pieces.
Oh my god!
But here's the fucked up thing: before they
he drew his own thing on top of him.
Before they could act on it and save all the art, he called his mother, and his mother went to his apartment and took all of the art and threw it into the canal to try to hide the evidence. No. They ended up finding it, but it just ruined everything.
Unbelievable. That's sad. All that art gone. History.
Oh well. There'll be other painters.
I know.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that Silk Road story, because it's something I always heard about but never fucked with, obviously.
I mean, I hate to bring up one more downer story, but you hear about the Twitch killer this week?
Twitch killer?
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you've been on the news lately, but a guy killed 10 people this week, mass shooting, and he streamed it on Twitch.
I did hear about the mass shooter in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way he streamed it on Twitch.
Yeah, dude.
No shot.
He fucking did.
I don't believe that.
All right, I'm going to look it up.
You can look that up.
We need our computer here.
Here's the thing. It's someone I follow got banned on Twitch today for reading passages from like one of those romance novels. There's no way you kill...
I'm sure he probably got blocked right away.
He probably got blocked right away. Maybe he tried to stream it on Twitch. I couldn't imagine that. There was another one who streamed like in Australia.
Yeah, he live streaming videos.
How do you find that video? Getting found on Twitch is so fucking difficult. Like,
Well,
what category do you put that in?
I'm sure he had no fans or anything, but
Do you put that in Grand Theft Auto?
it's just such a sad thing, man. I just watched this whole news thing on it, and the guy was just a blatant racist, and he thinks that.
Is this our Facebook segment of the week?
What, racism?
No, the killer. I'm sure Facebook had opinions.
No, this story really got nobody really brought it up too much. I mean, the day it happened, yeah, people were like, oh, sad or some bullshit. But I was just looking up stuff later on like TikTok or YouTube about it, finding out like why this guy did it, and he was just a blatant racist, and he thought that whoever's in charge right now is purposely allowing more immigrants into our country so that the white man is outvoted in our votes. And dude, and then he literally sought out this place that was 3 hours away because it was the most black people within his area or something like that. So crazy racist guy. And I mean, he even had more radical ideas too. I don't remember them all, but dude, just sad shit.
Yeah, I don't ever dig into the mass shooting stuff.
I know.
Some people like to watch football. Some people like to read up the mass shooting stories
because of the whole. He had it streamed. He had it on Discord. He posted on Discord first and then streamed it on Twitch.
Oh God, I use Discord so much.
I know.
No, that happened the same day as the Creator Clash. So I was watching a boxing thing. The first time I've ever watched a fighting thing.
Creator Clash.
Like OG YouTubers, like really big YouTubers.
Were boxing each other?
Were boxing.
Really?
It was so fucking good too.
That's funny.
It was a lot of fun to watch. iDubbbz, you've heard of iDubbbz?
No, probably not.
Michael Reeves, I Did a Thing, Internet Comment Etiquette.
Is he related to Keanu Reeves?
He is.
I know Keanu.
He's Keanu Reeves' small nephew. Tiny little nephew. He's, you know who you have heard of? Graham Stephan.
Yeah, I know Graham Stephan.
Graham Stephan fought Michael Reeves.
Wow.
And
Graham's a little guy.
Michael Reeves is just as little. They're like they're the exact same height and weight. But Michael Reeves is a fucking maniac. Michael Reeves is really funny, dude. He's proficient in with coding. So he makes videos like he wrote a program for a laser that was on an arm that it would seek out eyeballs and it would the laser shined into people's eyes. He created a Roomba that every time it hit a wall it would swear oh fuck or ouch.
That's great.
But he's a little fucking maniac, and he got in a lot of good hits on Graham Stephan to the point where he had Graham Stephan in the corner of the ring, and Graham Stephan looks to the judge and is like, "Call this fucking thing. What are you doing?"
Out.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Interesting. Can't believe you're watching some boxing. As long as it's YouTubers.
Yeah, if it's people that I watch. There were a lot of people that I actually watch in that fight. iDubbbz was the main card and fought a guy named Dr. Mike.
And this isn't run by...
it was run by iDubbbz.
The Paul brothers, okay.
No.
The Paul sisters.
No, it was all for charity. Nobody was getting paid for this.
Cool. I hate their promotion.
Yeah.
I think it's fake. I think they're putting on these fights for money.
Well, no, they're 100% putting on... The Paul brothers are definitely putting on the fights for money.
Sure.
That's all they fucking care about. And they found a little hack to get in there.
Yeah.
They make a lot of money from it. The Paul brothers make a lot of money from their fights. I mean, and then there's the other side of it. There's another sect run by a company called Triller, and they put on boxing fights between creators, but it's always like the worst fucking people, like the ones.
That's the one I've heard of, the Triller.
Yeah, and those always lose money, like millions of dollars. People don't get fucking paid from them.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But this was not like that. This was a lot of fun. Like, people were cool, and nobody was doing that fake drama leading up to the fight either.
As I was wondering about, I was like, did they just say, I'm going to fight you? Or how, they had some beef with each other?
No. They tried to choose people that were similar height and weight.
Sure.
They did have one fight, though, where one of the guys was 70 pounds heavier than the other guy.
Wow.
And, like, a full head or two taller. It was just David versus Goliath, and it was.
I'm assuming the big boy won.
Oh yeah, by a lot.
Interesting.
It was cool to watch. I don't think someone, not me, of course, may have recorded the whole thing.
Oh, sick.
Potentially. I would never do that because I'm not a lawbreaker.
Right.
But it's fun to watch.
Well, maybe I'll catch some clips of it later.
Yeah. You'll have to find that guy that recorded all of it.
Oh.
Did I have more Brendan Schaub drama and news? We've talked about him a few times. But
I thought I heard a little bit about him. Go on.
He's in a lot of hot water right now because... You remember how I was telling you that I stumbled across the Fighter and the Kids subreddit? Because Brendan Schaub, he's super sensitive, and when a YouTuber talks about him, he claims their video, and he gets their video unlisted.
Yeah.
So this was a controversy that happened a couple months ago.
Are we gonna get unlisted?
We might get unlisted. If anything, we'll get sued by Triller because I said their fights don't make any money. So that was a big controversy a while ago, and I was looking for Brendan Schaub's side of the story because I'm like, fuck this guy. And I go onto the Fighter and the Kids subreddit, and for the past couple years, that has been a place for people to make fun of Brendan Schaub.
Right.
It was like the funniest fucking place I'd ever found. Anyways, Brendan Schaub is married. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Brendan Schaub's married, and one of the things that I saw back then was Brendan Schaub, a video of Brendan Schaub giving his number to a different girl.
Yeah.
Anyways, apparently... You know Bobby Lee and Kalila?
Yeah, this is where I heard about it a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so Brendan Schaub propositioned Kalila at one point.
Oh, boy.
And she talked about it on her podcast, but she didn't say his name.
Yeah.
But everyone knew who it was, because, like, this guy has a history of being a, like, lowlife.
Yeah.
So he's married. He's, like, propositioning his friend's girlfriend. And that starts drama between them. Anyways, Brendan starts like spiraling, and he calls up Bobby Lee like, "Get your bitch under control," shit like that, rather than just calling Kalila or anything. And he starts threatening to sue them. He's claiming that they're in charge of the subreddit. Like, Bobby Lee, who doesn't know how to fucking use a computer, is like masterminding this whole subreddit. Anyways, the whole reason I'm bringing this up is because I had mud on my shoe just now that I flicked off, and there was a video on the subreddit of I'm gonna reenact the whole thing. It's maybe it's the Fighter and the Kid, maybe it's one of his other 7 podcasts, but the camera's on Brendan, and Brendan like looks at his shoe, and like there's clearly something on his fingers. And he sniffs it, and he makes a face at the camera, and he's like he had just sniffed dog shit, okay? Yeah. And then it was seconds later. It was in the same shot. He acted like he was cleaning off his shoe, and then he shoves all of his fingers into his mouth.
Oh, no.
And then he cleans off his shoe, and then he goes back in and he shoves more, like all of his fingers back into his mouth. He's straight up eating dog shit. Anyways, I highly recommend you check out this subreddit, everyone. Because I have never seen anyone get dunked on so hard in my entire life.
It's so funny because I've told you about, I used to be like a Brandon Schaub hater, but then like I kind of became a fan for a while. So I was like, okay, you don't want to be a fighter anymore. You want to change your career and do something else with your life. I guess why am I gonna hate on that, But it's just like, is he really that funny? Is that big of a, I mean,
he apparently so
I haven't seen his comedy shows at all.
His last comedy special went straight to YouTube.
Yeah.
One of the YouTubers I watch, he put out this whole Brendan Schaub video just dunking on him. And he said this. He said, your comedy special went straight to YouTube. You have somehow found a lower bottom than like straight to DVD. He's like, you're successful at one thing, finding the rock bottom of everything you do. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's funny.
Also on that subreddit is just a comedian telling a joke and then Brendan retelling that same joke in his fucking specials.
Oh, joke stealing.
Joke stealing, yeah.
That goes on a lot.
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny because we've talked about Brendan Schaub before. And
I don't know if I'm still a big fan. I'm on the fence now. I don't
just
know.
Go to that subreddit. Look,
he's kind of a doucher,
I think he's probably a douchebag. I mean, it sounds like it. I'm not a fan and I don't hate him, but I go to that subreddit for like grade
just
A entertainment. Yeah, like it's so fucking funny over there. His whole fan base is turned on him. Like, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I don't know if he had a big fan base to begin with. It's more of the hater base, probably.
There are 70,000 people on that subreddit.
Yeah, he's probably got a big hater base. It's not. You don't call them fan bases. It's a hater base. You want a good base of haters.
Oh man,
to give you some momentum in your career,
Well, it's ruining his career right now. He's had like, you can tell he's shaky. They'll show clips of.
Well, I didn't think
his friends making fun of him at this point.
I didn't think he was selling out stadiums anytime soon.
No.
But the dude's doing all kinds of other shit, man. Like you said, 17 podcasts and. There's
this clip where Ari Shaffir, you know who that is?
Yeah.
Did some lie detector test, and one of the question was, do you think Brendan Schaub is a good comedian?
That's great.
Brendan Schaub also came out with this music video, I think, about his truck.
I have not heard that yet.
I think it's called Truck Walk or something.
Oh, no.
Anyways, Brendan Schaub, I don't know if it's because he's been hit so many times in the head, but he has a bit of a speech impediment. And
hit, yeah.
So truck sounds like trug and walk sounds like wog. And that's something that everyone on the subreddit like makes fun of him for. Like every time they spell something out, they spell it as if Brendan was saying it.
Yeah.
And there's this recent clip where Brendan's on a podcast and he's got two of his friends with him, and they're doing that to him.
Oh, no.
They're like, "Did you walk down to your trug and ask whoever for a blowy?" And it's like. It's just breaking him.
Oh no!
He's getting clowned on so fucking hard. It's so good.
He can't just punch him in the face. Like he has to hang out with all these little guys that have never been in a fight. They're just gonna keep making fun of him, and he's just probably thinking, "I could just pick you up and slam you, but I can't."
Have you seen the video of Joe Rogan telling Brendan Schaub that he should not be a fighter anymore? He'll never make it to the top ranks.
I think I have seen that one, yeah. I mean, he was a top 10 fighter, but there was some.
He has a 9-5 record, so he had a winning record
for sure. But at the time, you had like Brock Lesnar or some shit in the fucking. You don't know fighting.
I have no idea.
You don't know.
I know that there's one called Velasquez.
Cain Velasquez. You know about that one?
Because I think it was in the clip. I think I remember Joe Rogan saying that. He's like, I don't see you beating this person.
Oh, wow. That's funny you brought him up because that guy was a badass, but he's the guy I brought up a couple weeks ago that his daughter was like raped.
Yeah, okay, I remember.
Yeah,
and he chased the guy.
Chased him, and he's getting sentenced to some prison for sure.
Okay.
They did not take his plea or whatever. I don't know what.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You think he'd have a better lawyer? I could see someone arguing like temporary insanity. Like you realize what had just happened.
A lot of those UFC fighters, it's not like they made a ton of money. Even though he was the champion at that time, dude, they didn't make a ton. He could have blown through all that, and now, like, because it was a while ago. He's not starting a comedy career anytime soon. Like. Who knows what he's doing after, selling seminars.
That's something I have heard a lot about, especially with like Logan Paul talking shit about fighters not getting paid.
Yeah.
That's something he always talks about. UFC fighters don't make what the UFC makes.
It's real bad. I mean, like with boxing, there's the Muhammad Ali Act, which is like a law saying that you have to pay the fighters out at least 50% of the gross earnings. And that's not the case in UFC or in any MMA.
Interesting.
So you can just pay the fighter whatever you want, $50.
Oh, I've heard stories about UFC fighters like they work full-time construction and they're doing pro fights every other weekend or something.
Top 10 fighters that are also freaking real estate agents.
Right.
On the side. You're like, what? But it's true. First of all, they took out a lot of sponsorships because they used to be able to put all their sponsors on their shorts. And then when Reebok took over the UFC, you had to have all the Reebok shit now.
No way.
And so the only time now, if you want to get paid by Reebok, you got to be a top 10 fighter. So anybody below the top 10 is not getting shit for money unless you're winning. Like you can't put your sponsors out in the shorts anymore.
They had shorts like decked out like NASCAR drivers.
Yeah,
really? That's funny.
They were Condom Depot, and that's why the UFC didn't like them. Like we don't want Condom Depot advertisements on our.
Fuck off.
I know.
Pay me.
Yeah, well. And you can actually, even Brendan Schaub talks about this because he was in the UFC right around the time the switch was happening, and he was making more money from the sponsorships than the fucking fights. He was clearing 100 or 200 grand in sponsorship money, and he was only getting paid like 50 to fight or something, or something like that. So, well, I don't even know why we brought this up, but it's definitely not equal, and I'm not exactly sure what it is in UFC, but a lot of the guys talk about it like, I gotta pay my gym, I got these coaches that are like with me through this, I gotta pay coaches. One of the champions right now was like, I'm basically broke fighting, you know what I mean? I'm trying to like pay off my last fucking fight or whatever it is. When I was an amateur, I got paid a little bit still, and it was just basically enough to just pay for your shorts that fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as a pro, to start out, you basically start at 500 to fight, another 500 to win. That's pretty normal for just an entry-level pro.
$500?
500 if you lose, and you get 1,000 if you win.
Okay.
5 and 5.
Dude, you cannot pay me $1,000 to get hit in the face, 40 times. No fucking way.
No? Well, you definitely should try not to get hit. I recommend that.
Well, the thing is, that's the other thing. Never mind. You got paid $500 to get hit because you got hit 40 times. You probably lost.
No kidding. Yeah, it's a dangerous game, man, and one of the reasons why I've been having so much more fun doing professional jiu-jitsu, because I had a pro fight. I lost by decision. That guy's doing very successful. He's like 6-1 as a pro and getting like calls from the UFC and shit. And the last couple of fights though, I was just like, man, you get fucking hurt. Dude, your body is fucked up, man. And it takes everything out of you to fucking fight. You got to get up in the morning and run. You got to get your practices in, and then somehow make money too, because you're probably not making money, you know.
Yeah.
So it's that was almost where I came to. It was like, I just made $500 and lost. You know, I still got to pay my damn bills. So, if anything, the last 4 years, my career has been like, get my money right first, and I've been kind of just having fun competing now. You know,
right?
Where before,
plus,
it was
how many
stressful
45-year-old fighters are there?
45. Here's a fun fact. Let's see what your guess is. What's the youngest UFC champion?
Champion?
Yes.
24.
Wrong.
Lower?
Higher.
Higher? 26?
Higher.
Really? I can't imagine getting punched today.
Higher.
30?
Higher.
No way. 35?
No. 32 is the youngest UFC champion right now. The oldest is 42.
That's insanity.
So keep that. That's kind of interesting. Think about peak performance as an athlete or as a male is actually in your 30s.
Wow.
So all you fat 30-year-olds right now is better rethink your life. Like, shit.
Peak performance is 30.
Go look at Kamaru Usman. He was a 34-year-old monster. And if you... God, man.
I could probably take him.
Jeez. He's the Nigerian Nightmare.
That's a cool name.
Oh.
All right.
I don't know. That's an interesting little thing to end on there. A lot of people don't realize that. I used to think that too. Like because my age is becoming a factor too. Like, man, I'm 31, so I'm like, how many more fights do I have left? How many, you know? And then I see these guys that are just becoming a champion in their late 30s. I'm like, all right, maybe I got one more run and got a couple more fights in me, man. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. You definitely could use a little more brain damage.
I know, right? That's the thing I go back on. I was like, you could get some glory and win some big fights, but at the same time, you could just get fucking knocked the shit silly.
You could end up like Brendan Schaub saying "trug" and "wog."
My college wrestling coach got basically knocked dumb. He had to like relearn how to walk and shit. And that was just from wrestling. But he was doing it. He was like ranked 3rd in the world at the time. He was wrestling at the Olympic Training Center with animals. But when he was wrestling with this guy, and this guy just fucking elbowed him in the back of the head. And that was it. Fucking had to relearn how to fucking walk for the next couple of years. And eventually got everything back and became, our college level wrestling coach, many national champions and shit like that. But he'd wrestle with us a little bit, but he'd wear this big fucking headgear that went like all the way around his head. And the guy was such an animal, man. I couldn't even get close to his fucking legs to take that guy down. And he was 50s plus, and he's strong as a fucking ox. Like you see his pictures back in the day, and he's just the Hulk. And then now it's just like he's old man now, but he's just fucking strong still, dude. You're just like, I don't understand. You don't look that strong. You know what I mean? You're like, you look frail, like you should break almost, but you grab me and it's like, oh no. Oh no.
Said every choir boy ever. All right, we're ending it there.